John Gong is joining us now. He's a professor at the University of International Business and Economics in Beijing. John, you're a numbers guy, so what do you read into all these numbers I just recited? There's this cooling off period that's slowing down the divorce rate, but the marriage numbers are down. So what do you make of all these trends?
Well, let me first talk about this reduction of divorce rate. I think this is very effective. The numbers I have read is that over 36% of the people who filed divorce actually didn't eventually proceed with the divorce within that 30-day cooling period. So I think it really helps with reducing the divorce rate. I think people are sometimes emotional, and given a cooling period, they probably have thought through and changed their minds. So I think this is very important, and it's a very good policy and should be promoted everywhere. Now, in terms of the declining marriage rate, I think it first reflects the decline of the population. I mean, it's very clear that the population is slowing down. The number of people between the age of 20, say, and 40 for women is a lot smaller. The population is a lot smaller compared to, say, 10 years ago. That's, I think, the first reason. The second reason, I think, reflects the general trend that people are more careful about getting married. They are probably, taking a very open-minded attitude towards marriage. And that's also a kind of a trend among developed countries as China becomes more developed countries as we move forward. So that's a very important reason.
John, let me throw another factor out there as a possibility. COVID, of course, you would think will put the skids on romance. Hard to go out and meet people in the middle of a pandemic. Do you think that's playing a role in any of this as well?
That's a very interesting perspective. I would suspect so. I've seen that myself, actually. The young people, for entire, I would say, 2020, bulk of 2021, a lot of people stayed at home because of the lockdown, because of, various reasons related to the COVID. You're absolutely right. I think that definitely dampens the opportunities of dating going outside, and that might be a very good reason. I totally agree with that. It's an interesting perspective, actually.
Well, China also has these population challenges. You just alluded to it, and that's why there's been a relaxation of the one-child policy. But if marriage rates are dropping, then one would think that that's going to impact efforts to increase birth rates. So let's talk about this tax deduction. Child care is always an expense that parents have to think about. Do you think this is going to help at all?
I think it helps, but I think it helps only marginally. I think the general trend is that young people, don't want to get married. A lot of them don't want to get married, but that doesn't mean that they don't go out dating and meet people, and probably they still live together or something. I think, in addition to this kind of a tax incentive, I think there's also other policy tools that can be used. For example, the government can take a sort of a more lenient, I would say, accommodating policy towards, say, out of marriage birth of kids. The society can take a sort of a more accommodating attitude towards that. Single moms with children should be treated in a non-discriminatory way, and which is still not quite so in Chinese society at this point, in my view. So I think there are other things that can be done to encourage people to have more children.